There's an easy way to see what our schools have spent and what is still on the table. The Indiana Department of Education has just updated its online dashboard, and you can see for yourself. It appears there is still a lot of money that needs to be spent. Bremen's elementary school building is about to get some much needed TLC.
We've got a 1930s building that has two layers, a layer of block.
Thanks to COVID emergency funds, the elementary school's old windows and insulation surround will be replaced.
That means we have classrooms that have, when it rains, sometimes we have water in the classroom.
Wow.
And so fortunately through this federal money, we have the opportunity to address that.
It's a project that will cost in the millions, but a big chunk will be paid for with ESSER money. ESSER stands for Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief. It's money the federal government gave to schools across the country to address the impact of COVID-19.
About 1.3 of it is being paid for by federal funds, but it's a project we would not be able to undertake readily without those funds.
Through 3 rounds of ESSER funding and a 4th round from the governor's Emergency Education Relief Fund, also called GEAR, Bremen was allocated about $1.5 million. The amount each school received is based on a formula focused on supporting schools with the highest number of low-income families. It's why South Bend schools got $94 million.
It was a huge shot in the arm for our district, so we're grateful for those funds because they are needed.
The South Bend Community School Corporation had to split some of its money with local parochial schools and the Empowerment Zone. And while most of South Bend's funds are already allocated,
it's not an open bucket of money that you can just spend on whatever you want.
What else could I do?
The COVID emergency funds are a reimbursement program, so school districts are required to spend the money on specific and approved expenses. Then the state will reimburse those expenses. Much of the money is required to be used to address learning loss. Unlike what people think, it's not easy to spend $94 million.
Especially not when there's a lot of different requirements. It is not easy.
You can check to see how much money your local school district was allocated and how much has been reimbursed by using the Indiana Department of Education's dashboard. State leaders say once a school has been reimbursed, the dashboard reflects the changes. And while it appears there's a lot more money to spend and there's a deadline to spend it, state officials and school leaders say they plan to use it all. The reimbursements listed on the dashboard only reflect reimbursements that have been submitted, reviewed, and approved by the Department of Education. So there is some lag time, especially because some school districts submit receipts in batches, or the money is allocated but not spent, like for salaries or ongoing programs. Coming up Wednesday at 6 p.m., what schools have spent their money on down to the dollar. In the studio, Kristen Bean, WSBT 22 News.